والصلاة والسلام والتحية والإكرام على سيدنا ونبينا وطبيب نفوسنا بالقاسم المصطفى محمد وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين المظلومين الهداة المهديين الذين أذهب الله عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا. أما بعد، قال مولانا إمامنا الصادق عليه الصلاة والسلام: الشيخ في أهله كالنبي في أمته. Dear brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today, we would like to discuss about the rights of elderly in our society. Of course, alhamdulillah, we discuss about children, parents, and today this subject is very important subject. Now, of course, in the religion of Islam, the first thing which is very important in relation to any sheikh means the man who is in his old ages. We have to give respect to elderly. This is very important because we have to give them respects because they are experienced people. They have experience. They gain a lot of experience in their life. They have seen failure and success in their life. People who are elderly, even though maybe you could see them, they have lost their strengths. They are not capable, even sometimes they are not capable, they are very much aged, they are not capable to move from a place to another place. But still, spiritually, their experience is greater than a young man. And they have good understanding to distinguish between haqq and batil. And they are the people who can be very much good guide towards youths. And likewise, they can provide a lot of means for the success for next generation. So that's why many Aimma Tahirin alayhi wassalatu wassalam, they asked us, whenever there is a problem, first you have to go to the people who are elderly within your family members, like for example parents and especially grandparents, because they are the one who can solve a lot of your issues and problems. So that's why you see, if there is a dispute within a family between husband and wife, the best people to have approach to them are, like for example, parents or grandparents, because they have capability and the power to calm down both parties who are in conflict. Salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. And there is beautiful narration from Imam Sadiq alayhi salatu wasalam. Imam Sadiq, he says, Ash-Shaykh fi ahli, the example of elderly man or woman in society is like a prophet. Ash-Shaykh fi ahlihi kan-Nabiyyi. The respect of Nabi is given to elderly people in the aspect of Islam. Kan-Nabiyyi fi ummati. So what Imam Sadiq alayhi salatu wasalam basically he want to mention, he says, as people, they listen to their Nabi, Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam, like we listen to our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, children and grandchildren should listen to the advice of grandparents. And on the other hand, in the narration, Imam Sadiq alayhi salatu wasalam, he wants to say that grandparents and parents, they should be always providing guidance to children and grandchildren. So they have to act like as Nabi. They are like, for example, resembling Nabi or Anbiya alayhi salatu wasalam. So what Anbiya, their duties were? They used to provide guidance. So likewise, always parents and grandparents should provide guidance to their children and grandchildren. Sallallahu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. So mu'minin, in Islam, to elderly people in society, in general I'm speaking, not about our own parents or grandparents, those who are kabir, who are older than you. When I say haqqul kabir in the religion of Islam, when we say haqqul kabir, in first category, they are elderly people. The first interpretation is elderly people. But, kabir is the one who is older than you. So that also applies for those people who are older than you in age. So first of all, we have to provide them respect. But unfortunately, we have seen in societies that parents and especially grandparents who want love from you, they are like, for example, ignored or sometimes hated. And unfortunately, in some societies, people, they contact ulama and they explain their situation of household. Sometimes people, they create harm, abuse towards their parents and grandparents, elderly people. And sometimes children or grandchildren, they see them to be barrier towards their success, unfortunately. So that's why in some family, they even ask parents or grandparents to, like, for example, leave their house or live separately, or they themselves come out from the house of parents and grandparents. Salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. So, I mean, we have to, our youths, they have to realize that they are, our parents and grandparents are not barrier towards our success. Okay, we have to understand this, and especially when parents and grandparents, they want to live with you, so you should allow them, because there is bound like connection of love, which build in, like, for example, in past. So, being elderly, it is also, itself is a pain. When there is a man who is a da'if, like, for example, in age 70, 90, 80, they also have lot of problems, health problems. So being old itself is a problem. So that's why ulama, they say there are two types of elderly people. The one who, like, for example, did not do marriage, they were living alone for entire of their life, for example. And if they, even they had children, they lost children or wife, for example, they died. So when they become old, they are in old age, they have only one pain. The one pain is what? Being old, like, for example. But those people who had children or wife and families and parents, they did, like, for example, a lot of struggle to provide shelter, food and accommodation and good life for their children, and, like, for example, gave their children to have brighter future. Such parents, when they get old, they have expectation from children to recognize their effort. But unfortunately, at this point, when they neglect or ignore their parents or grandparents, that makes sabab and the reason that they die earlier than their age. Salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. So, mu'minin, our youths, they have to understand that, we have to, like, for example, stay with parents and grandparents. We have to give them much of the time. Sometimes, there are family members who are waiting for their sons or grandchildren to come and visit them. So if they ignore, that is not appropriate. And now the custom is changed. People, when they grow up, they are all, they open old age home, for example. Okay, that is, I'm not against old age homes. Of course, they are needed. Like, for example, for those people who want to be alone for themselves, those people who want to be independent, in societies, we have certain people, elderly people, who want to be independent, for example. Okay, so they choose to live in old age homes. So that's fine for them. But some people, parents who like to stay with children, they must allow their parent to live with them, because these are the etiquettes and akhlaq and their haq in Islam. Salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. So even those people who are living in old age homes, like, for example, I can see these are like within Iran also we have, in India and elsewhere, old age homes. Even if someone chosen himself to stay and spend end of his life in old age home, their relatives should go and visit them frequently. That is sila raham. And that's why, we have to teach our generation and next generation. And whatever we do in this world, of course, that comes back to us. If we ignore our elderly, our children are going to ignore us. That's why Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, in one of his great narrations, he says, "Ma akrama shabun shaba." If you respect it, "Ma akrama shabun sheikha." if any young man respect elderly man and a woman, illa qadallahu lahu inda shaybatin man yukremu. So of course he will, Allah create certain people when he himself become old, so other youth are going to respect him. So if I give respect to the elderly people in my society, so when I get, like for example, old, the other nation, my youth, the other nation who will come later on, Allah will make them to respect and honor me. Sallallahu And even respecting elderly people, that is assumed as the respect, giving respect to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Please concentrate on this hadith. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he says, min ijlalillah, if you want to honor Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, respect Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay, Allah is not physical. Okay, so if you want to respect someone, if you want to respect Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, ijlalu this shaybatil Muslim. This shaybatil Muslim, you know, you have to respect a Muslim who is elderly and he, you know, made his beard to be gray in the religion of Islam. It's the shaybatil Muslim. You know, if a man is old, his beard gone gray while being Muslim, so if you respect him, the respect is for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Salli ala Muhammad wa alihi. That's why in another narration, Imam Sadiq alayhi salatu wasalam, he says, Addimu kibarakum, give respect, honor your elder, older than you. Silu arhamakum, maintain blood relations. Walaysa tasiluna bishay'in afdalu min kaffil ada anhum. When we maintain blood relation, what is the best way of maintaining it? Not to create any harm towards our relatives. Not creating any harm towards our relatives, what is the best way of maintaining blood relations? Sallallahu Muhammad wa alihi. So first thing which Aimma Tahirin alayhi salatu wasalam, they taught us, if we give respect to a kabir, so that is a respect to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And if we want to be, like for example, among the companions of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, so we have to give respect to kabir. Rasulullah says, فَوَقِّرِ الْكَبِيرِ, give honor and respect to elderly man and woman. تَكُمْ مَعَ رُفَقَائِ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ. So you are going to be from my friends on the day of judgment. Salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. And mu'minin generally, you know, those people who live in our time, for example, at our time right now, you know, Rasulullah, they admired us. He praised us. He said, you know, one day Rasulullah said to his companion that my real ashab are going to come later after nations and nations. So they asked Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, what do you mean? So he replied, you know, you believe on me, you have believed in me. Why? Because you see mu'jizah of Quran and many other mu'jizat. Okay, so Arab, they became Muslim. Why? Because they saw Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam with mu'jizat. Until the time the prophethood of Rasulullah was not proven for them, they rejected the message of Islam. But Rasulullah says, my real ashab are those who have not seen me. They have just listened to my words. You know, they are going to come at the end of the time. They are my real ashab who have not seen me, neither they have seen the mu'jizat of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, but they are going to strongly believe in prophethood of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Now there is another narration in regards to respect to elderly. Rasulullah says, "Man waqqara dha shaybatin fil Islam." Those who respect such people in Islam, amanahu Allahu azza wa jalla min faza'i yawm al-qiyamah. So Allah will secure him from the hardship of the day of judgment. And even Allah himself, he gives respect to all, you know, aged people. He says, Prophet says in one of the beautiful narrations, he says, "Inna Allah yanzuru fi wajhi shaykh al-mu'min sabahan wa masa'a Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala look at the faces of the elderly people day and night. You know, he look at them, towards them, and he says to them, Ya Abdi, O my servant. So Allah look at them day and night and says, Ya Abdi, O my servant, Kabira sinnuk, you got aged. Okay? Wadaqqa azmuk, and your bones became slim. Waraqqa jilduk, and your, like for example, skin became soft. And this is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He's saying while addressing elderly. Waqaruba ajaluk, your death is very much close. Wahana qudumuk, and you are going to, come to me soon. Wahana qudumuk. Then Allah says, Fastahyi minni, so have some shame from your Lord. Why? Shame from Lord, have some shame while sinning in front of your Lord. Then Allah says, فَأَنَا أَسْتَحْيِي مِنْ شَيْبَتِكَ أَنْ أُعَذِّبَكَ فِي النَّارِ, because I feel shame from your gray hair, beard, to punish you because of your sins at this point of your age. Sallallahu Muhammad wa Muhammad. So that's why, Mu'mineen, as we grow up, when we are in the age of 40, when we cross age of 40, okay, we are like, for example, coming under the category of Kabir. So that's why Aimma Tahin alayhi salatu wasalam, they ask us and they want us to avoid sins after this age. Because your aql is at peak at the age of 40, for example, okay? You understand good and bad, you have a lot of experience in your life. So of course at that point, Aimma Tahirin alayhi salatu wasalam, they said even those people who are very much in old ages, 60, 70, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants them not to commit sin, okay? Because of the experience and the time they spend while being Muslim. Sallallahu Muhammad wa alihi Muhammad. Imam Sajjad alayhi salatu wasalam, in one of his narrations, he says, وَأَمَّا حَقُّ الْكَبِيرِ, the right of elderly people in society. فَإِنَّ حَقَّهُ تَوْقِيرُ سِنِّهِ, we have to give respect to such people. وَإِجْلَالُ إِسْلَامِهِ, and we also have to give them respect towards their Islam. Because the man who is bigger than me, older than me in age, he is Muslim before myself, for example. So I have to honor him and honor his Islam because he is senior, he has seniority in Islam. وَتَرْكُ مُقَابَلَتِهِ, and then Imam Sajjad alayhi salatu wasalam, he says, you have to avoid enmity if you enter into the argument with any elderly man or woman. وَلَا تَسْبِقُهُ إِلَى طَرِيقٍ وَلَا تَأُمُّهُ فِي طَرِيقٍ. And then Imam, he says, when you are walking, like for example with someone who is elderly, you shouldn't overtake him, okay? Or like for example, you shouldn't be walking in front of him. These are the adab and akhlaq for aged people. وَلَا تَسْتَعْجِلُهُ وَإِنْ جَهِلَ عَلَيْكَ. And this is very important. Don't deal with them with ignorance, even though if they are ignorant towards you, behaving ignorantly towards you. Sallallahu Muhammad wa alihi Muhammad. Tahammalta. Imam Sajjad, he says, you have to show tolerance towards them. وَأَكْرَمْتَهُ بِحَقِّ إِسْلَامِهِ, and because of his Islam and age, you have to honor and respect him. Then Imam alayhi salatu wasalam, he says, فَإِنَّمَا, indeed, حَقُّ السِّنِّ بِقَدْرِ الْإِسْلَامِ, respect of each man is because of his seniority in the religion of Islam. Sallallahu Muhammad wa alihi Muhammad. Bari dikar salawat padi Muhammad wa alihi Muhammad. So women, we have to realize that of course those who are senior in age, they are also sensitive, okay? Because they have a lot of experience, so they show sensitivity in front of you. So that's why Imam Sajjad alayhi salatu wasalam, he said, don't do anything before them. If you walk before them, like for example, if you overtake them, so of course maybe they become sensitive they become angry. So this must also be avoided. Sallallahu Muhammad wa alihi Muhammad. And I mean, when it comes to support of elderly people, Islam, sometimes when I see in Western world, the thing which are, being practiced in Western culture, it is mentioned in the religion of Islam. And Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salatu wasalam gave the example how to take care about elderly people in society. One day, he narrates that Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salatu wasalam, he saw an old man in Kufa, the bazaar of Kufa. So Imam alayhi salatu wasalam asked, Ma hada? He was begging, he was asking for help. Ma hada? Faqalu. So people, they replied, Ya Amir al-Mu'minin Nasrani. This is the man who is Christian. Okay, so Imam alayhi salatu wasalam, when he saw a man who is begging on the streets of Kufa, so he asked what happened to him, why he is begging, raising hand in front of others. So instead of replying the real question, Muslims, they say, Mawla, he is Christian. So Imam replied, this is not the answer. I'm asking why he is begging. Then Imam said, Ista'maltumuhu hatta kabura wa ajaza mana'atumuhu. You gave him work. So he was working for you until the time he had power and strength. And when he became elderly, you left him because he's not capable to work. So this is not etiquette and akhlaq of Islam. Anfiqu alayhi min bayt al-mal. And then Imam alayhi salatu wasalam, he said, for him is a share from Baytul Mal. So you have to provide wealth to him so he can run the expenses of day to day in relation to himself. Sallallahu Muhammad wa alihi. So meaning this is all about Islam. There are many people who work hard for entire life in our societies in India and Pakistan, but they are left. They do not get minimum, like for example things for their survival. But Islam says it is responsibility of Islamic government so to provide them all the necessities of life. So the first thing in relation to Kabir is respect. Okay, this is what we done. And the second thing, we have to gain from their experiences. All of us, alhamdulillah, we have experience in our life. Okay, so elderly people in every society, they have a lot of experiences. Okay, so youths of every nation, they have to gain knowledge from their experience. And those nations who consider the experience of elderly, they are successful nations. If you see, like for example, politicians within United States, they are aged, but still they are active. Because youth, they learn from the politicians who have a lot of experience and they spend their life in politics. So this is how it works. So in the religion of Islam, Aimma Tahirin alayhi salatu wasalam, they asked us to gain from the knowledge, from the experience of your elderly. Because if you are going to ignore their experiences, so of course you will fail in your life. So that's why sometimes, when parents, they ask children not to, like for example, engage in so and so businesses, for example, okay, so they decline. They say, no, Baba, we have experience, there will be no profit in this business, you're going to lose, like for example, the investment. So they want to try it again. So that is not accepted, because the thing which is experience once, there is no need to make experiment next time. Sallallahu Muhammad wa alihi. That's why Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salatu wasalam, he says, وَفِي التَّجَارُبِ عِلْمٌ مُسْتَعْنَفٌ. In experiences, experiments, the knowledge and information is hidden. People, they do experiences, so of course you learn from experience. Sallallahu Muhammad wa alihi. So youths, they have to gain from the experience of elderly instead of making experiment again and again. Because there is a beautiful narration from Imam Sadiq alayhi salatu wasalam. He says, La yulsa'ul aqilu min juhrim marratain. If there is a hole, okay, and you put your hand in the hole, there is a snake, for example. Snakes bites you. Are you going to put again your hand in the same hole? No. because it is proven. Experiment is done one time. So Imam alayhi salatu wasalam, he says, from same hole, an intelligent man cannot be bitten twice. So one time when the experiment is done, that should be sufficient for coming generation. Sallallahu Muhammad wa Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib, he says, "Kafa ma madha mukhbiran amma baqiya." Past is inner informer for what remains. Past is very much good experience, good informer for those who remain. وَكَفَى عَبَرًا لِأُولِي الْأَلْبَابِ مَا جَرَّبُوا. And for intelligent people, their experiment in past is sufficient experiment. So when they did experiment once and they came to the conclusion, did not repeat the experiment again and again. Sallallahu Muhammad wa And of course, experience, we have to do experience in our life, but not repeating experience. We have to gain from experience of elders, because there are two types of knowledge. Imam alayhi salatu wasalam, again Imam Ali, he says, al-aqlu al-aqlan. There are two types of intellect and knowledge. Aqlu tab'i, the aql which is aql of nature, all of us we have, okay? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala provided us aql. So this is one type of intellect. Wa aqlu tajruba. And the other type of aql is aql of experiment, because when you do experiment, you gain knowledge. And that's why Imam Ali, he says, وَكِلَاهُمَا يُؤَدِّ الْمَنْفَعَةِ. Both of them, your original aql and tajruba, both of them, they take you towards manfa'ah, which is education and information. Sallallahu Muhammad wa And of course, we have to remember as well the tajruba and experiments of our elderly. Sometimes, parents, they teach you a lot of things, their experiences, what they have gone through, about hardship and good time in their life, but children, they forget. So with tajruba of elderly, we have to remain those tajruba, because those things are going to benefit us on different occasions in our life. Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salatu wasalam, he says, "Man hafidha tajarub asabat af'alu." Man hafidha means those who remember the tajruba and experiments in past, their actions are going to be away from any wrongdoing, for example. So their actions are going to be perfect. So if I am remembering the tajruba in past, my actions are going to be pure. Sallallahu Muhammad wa Again, Imam Ali, he says, "Thamarut tajribati husnul ikhtiyar." If we choose something good, that means we have learned from our tajruba and experiment. So whenever we choose a perfect thing in our life, in whatever various aspect of life, if we are successful in our choice, that means we are remembering the tajruba and experiment which we have done in past. Sallallahu Muhammad wa And this aql of tajruba, it sometimes changes the game even in battlefield. Okay, I would like to conclude on one of the event. Khalid Barmaki was advisor to Qahtaba, one of the kings. Okay, so Qahtaba was told that there is a huge army, they are planning to come and conquer your kingdom. So Qahtaba, he asked his advisor Khalid Barmaki, he asked him, what should we have to do? So he said, instead of allowing enemy to enter, get closer to your borders, so you have to arrange soldiers and we go and attack them on their way. So Qahtaba, he gathered 50,000 soldiers. They started their journey. When they went to the point, they realized that the khabar and news they saw, they listened, that was fake. There is no enemy. So of course, Qahtaba asked the soldiers to have, like for example, rest. So all of them, they were resting. These Khalid Barmaki, one night he saw a deer, animal, Ahu, Hiran, entered to the tents of him being scared. When he saw a deer at night time, he entered, the animal entered to his tent. He straight away went to King Qahtaba and asked him to ask every soldier to get ready, because our enemy is very much close to us. So he commanded, because he was wazir, he was king. So he commanded every soldier to prepare because army, huge army is very much close to us. So within a minutes or within a half an hour, they realized that enemy is close and they attack. So they were prepared, and of course they make defense, and again they attack, and finally Qahtaba, he, like for example, won the war. Okay. Now when everything settled down, this Qahtaba king, he asked his wazir Khalid Barmaki, how did you know and realize that our enemy is very much close to us? I'm explaining the qissa and waqia because of to explain that what tajruba is very important in our life. Experiments are very much important in our life. He said it was night time. I saw a deer animal being scared and afraid. Animal entered into my house. I realized that this animal, especially deer, they run away from humans. If they are, like for example, seeking rescue in my tent, that means they are scared of someone, and like for example, maybe it could be a huge army. So it clicked in my mind. So there must be, the army behind. That's why this deer is very much scared. And he also did. I had experiment that deer at night time, they never ever leave their shelter, their houses. They are always prefer to remain in their shelter. Again, this is my tajruba experiment that this animal left house. That means there should be army behind. So that's why I alert you and I made command to you to prepare yourself. We prepared and we fought and we became successful in war. So with tajruba mu'minin, if there were all of them were asleep, the outcome was different. So with tajruba, we learn in our history and learn from Ayyumat Tahin alayhi salatu wasalam that we have to learn from the tajruba of elderly, and we have to remember those tajrubat in our life, so we will be inshallah successful in every aspect of our life. Salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. With this we pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us strength and tawfiq to fulfill the rights of mu'mineen, relatives, elderly, and every right which is mentioned by our Imam, fourth Imam Sadiq alayhi salam. In the end, I would like to request you all to recite Surah Al-Mubarak Al-Fatiha for following marhumin: Sayyid Ashfaq Hussain, Sayyid Hussain Ali, Nawab Hussain, Sayyid Ishtiyaq Hussain, Sayyid Aftab Hussain, Taqiyya Begum, Sultanat Begum, Sayyida Begum, Shahnaz Fatima. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Malik Yawm al-Din. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdina as-sirata al-mustaqim. صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. والله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم. صل على محمد وآل محمد. Yeah, it's time now.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن عليا ولي الله أشهد أن عليا حجة الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح حي على خير العمل حي على خير العمل الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا
الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله أن محمد رسول الله أن محمد رسول الله أن علي ولي الله أن عليا حجة الله على الصلاة على الصلاة على الفلاح على الفلاح على خير العمل القامة الصلاة الصلاة الله أكبر الله لا إله إلا الله إن صلاة ومحياي ومماتي لله رب العالمين أستغفر الله ربي وأتوب إليه الله أكبر بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر الله أكبر سبحان ربي العظيم وبحمده سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان الله سمع الله لمن حمده الله سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان الله الله أكبر استغفر الله ربي وأتوب إليه الله أكبر سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. الله أكبر. بحمد الله وقوته يقول. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. الله أكبر. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي العظيم وبحمده. سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان الله. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان الله. الله أكبر. أستغفر الله ربي وأتوب إليه. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان الله. الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. بحول الله وقوته أقوم وأقعد. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي العظيم وبحمده. سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان الله. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. الله أكبر. أستغفر الله ربي وأتوب إليه. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. يا لطيف ارحم عبدك الضعيف. الله أكبر. بسم الله وبالله والحمد لله وخير الأسماء لله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. السلام عليك أيها النبي ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام علينا وعلى عباد الله الصالحين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر.
إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. أستغفر الله الذي لا إله إلا هو الحي القيوم الرحمن الرحيم ذو الجلال والإكرام وأتوب إليه. أستغفر الله الذي لا إله إلا هو الحي القيوم الرحمن الرحيم ذو الجلال والإكرام وأتوب إليه. أستغفر الله الذي لا إله إلا هو الحي القيوم الرحمن الرحيم ذو الجلال والإكرام وأتوب إليه. اللهم صل على محمد.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. يا علي ويا عظيم يا غفور يا رحيم أنت رب العظيم الذي ليس كمثله شيء وهو السميع البصير. وهذا شهر نظمته وكرمته وشرفته وفضلته على الشعور وهو شهر الذي فرضت صيامه علي وهو شهر رمضان الذي أنزلت فيه القرآن هدى للناس بينات من الهدى والفرقان وجعلت فيه ليلة القدر وجعلتها خير من ألف شهر فيا ذا المن فلا يمن عليك. مناديا بفكاك رغبتي من النار في من تمن عليه وادخلني الجنة برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين.
Muhammadin, Assalamu alaikum. I want to recognize and thank our sponsors for this evening's program, and these are the families of Intizar Hussain Rizvi, Raza Muhammad Rizvi, Dr. Zahir Hussain, and Dr. Fazl Ali. Please join me in praying for these families and especially for their marhumeen this evening. Please also join us, inshallah, tomorrow, where your sponsor will be the family of late Agha Mohsin Abbas. That program will begin at 6:45 with recitation of the Holy Quran. Program will begin at 7:30 with Moana speech, followed by namaz and iftar. Also, please join us this evening as we'll be completing, inshallah, the Holy Quran. Please, if you can't make it back in the hall after the iftar program, for the Khatm Quran, we'd love to have you all join us and gain sawab with the completion of the Holy Quran. And then last but not least, as a reminder, the Suyu Majlis for Marhum Muhammad Ahsan Jafri will be held at here at Astaana-e-Zehra tomorrow night at 9:30 p.m. But Muhammad wa ali Muhammad salawat.
الله أكبر الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. أشهد أن عليا ولي الله. أشهد أن عليا حجة الله. حي على الصلاة، حي على الصلاة، حي على الفلاح، حي على الفلاح، حي على خير العمل، حي على خير العمل. قامت الصلاة وقامت الصلاة. الله أكبر الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله. الله أكبر. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي العظيم وبحمده. سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان الله. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان الله. الله أكبر. استغفر الله ربي وأتوب إليه. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان الله. الله أكبر. بحمد الله وقوته يقوم ويقعد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. الله أكبر. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي العظيم وبحمده. سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان الله. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان الله. الله أكبر. استغفر الله ربي وأتوب إليه. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن الله وقوته أقوم وأقعد. الله أكبر الله. سبحان ربي العظيم وبحمده. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان الله. الله أكبر. استغفر الله ربي وأتوب إليه. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. الله أكبر. بحول الله وقوته يقوم ويقعد. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي العظيم وبحمده. سبحان الله سبحان الله سبحان الله. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. الله أكبر. استغفر الله ربي وأتوب إليه. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. يا لطيف ارحم عبدك الضعيف. الله أكبر. بسم الله وبالله. الحمد لله وخير الأسماء لله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له. وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. السلام عليك أيها النبي ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام علينا وعلى عباد الله الصالحين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر.
إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. أستغفر الله الذي لا إله إلا هو الحي القيوم الرحمن الرحيم ذو الجلال والإكرام وأتوب إليه. أستغفر الله الذي لا إله إلا هو الحي القيوم الرحمن الرحيم ذو الجلال والإكرام وأتوب إليه. أستغفر الله الذي لا إله إلا هو الحي القيوم الرحمن الرحيم ذو الجلال والإكرام وأتوب إليه. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. يا علي ويا عظيم يا غفور يا رحيم. أنت رب العظيم الذي ليس كمثله شيء وهو السميع البصير. وهذا شيء عظمته وكرمته وشرفته وفضلته على الشهور. وهو شهر الذي فرضت صيامه علي. وهو شهر رمضان الذي أنزلت فيه القرآن هدى للناس بينات من الهدى والفرقان. وجعلت فيه ليلة القدر وجعلتها خير من ألف شهر. فيا ذا المن ولا يمن عليك. مناليا بفكاك رغبتي من النار في من تمن عليه. وادخلني الجنة برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. Morning will reassemble for dua at 9:15 p.m. followed by Khatm Quran reading.
Ya Mola, Ya Mola. Like, I don't want you to say inna atayna, because that's too easy. Maybe something a little bit harder. Maybe like Allah nas'aluka sabra. What was on the Wikina? That one? You know that one? Yep. Alright, that's a good one. What else? Layla Quraysh. You know that one? Alright. You tell me. I mean, it's gonna be. We'll be in a group, so. Yeah. So, I'm calling you. The last chapter. We're gonna finish it off, and we're gonna read the
अभी पापा आ जाएंगे। मैं बताऊं क्या? मंडे को ईद है।
Come on, man. We're running late. We have a deadline. Uh, my name is John. Jay.
It's not. It's good. Either or not.
My name is Anita Goffler.
You need a what?
Bro.
It's Anita what?
Alright, come on, set up. Stop watching.
You can't say that.
What did he say?
Tell him what he said. Go to who has the pen? Go over
Say it
there.
out loud. Say it out loud. What is it?
You don't want him to say it out loud.
It's not
Get a
inappropriate.
pen. Where's the pen? Go out and see there's a pen. Go
Somebody
out
find
and
a
see there's
pen.
a pen. Run before the man changes his mind.
Black man?
Yeah.
Is it?
What's temporary substance?
He said my name is John. So I responded with, hi, here's a pen. I need a black man. You get it? I need a...
Hey, bro.
What do you mean? You just said John K.
We have Iftara today again?
It's political.
Yeah, don't we?
Yes. Iftara is when Ramazan starts. But something that's ending. You have to find something that ends. Ending. Para 30, we can protect the 30th para.
Even the 27th night, technically this is a possible night of Laylatul Qadr.
What? Yes. If you look in the Fadl Jina, it says that.
How come we don't do anything on 25, 27?
Because
We should.
My uncle has that.
your uncle has that? Okay, very good. Who's your uncle? Oh, Rehan. Rehan's your uncle. $5 a minute. Oh, Rehan Chachu's your uncle.
Also, bro, you gotta finish literally
Okay.
everything.
Okay, next time when you come,
I just
ask your uncle to bring that thing here.
You just got so mad.
It was I didn't quite understand.
You don't want to understand it. He doesn't know what you're talking about.
Yes, I do. I know what you mean.
So Dan, what's the plan now? Brooklyn plan? Yeah, it's very confusing now.
Trying to see if we can pack it up today.
Okay.
If not, tomorrow we'll pack it up.
But then when are we taking it there?
Right after the class. Unless you want to go to the over there.
So we're not staying for the budget.
Can't stay for the budget. Want to stay for the budget? Then stay for the budget. Go in the morning.
Yeah, I don't want to do that. We can't go in the morning. Rosa will become bothered.
Evening. Sunday night. Monday's Eid anyway. You can take off.
Yeah, that's true.
Can you find a PDF of Para 30?
Think about it before we.
Yeah, I guess let's just go Saturday night. That makes the most sense.
Okay.
Yeah, there's no point in going any other day.
How did you get the name?
What's the politics behind it? Is it Barack Obama joke?
Racist joke that
How is it racist?
you don't know what you're talking about.
How is it racist?
Bro, just move the camera up on the podium, buddy.
This man actually is on Twitter. Hey, how is this game in Twitter?
Do you know what you're talking about?
Yes, I know what I'm talking about.
Alright, I just wanted to make sure I'm not being stupid. You muted or yeah? I hope this is muted.
Yeah, it is.
Yo, Hayden. Yo, can you turn off the lights again?
Oh, no, not him. He's manning the camera again. So should I ring the bell or something?
Sure.
Not yet.
Too early?
Too early. 5 minutes too early, my friend.
Here we go. Nice.
This is actually good.
Good.
Your TV on their side wasn't
It's on the website called guaz.org.
Their TV wasn't working. You want me to check it wasn't? Well, this one is still going strong, I see.
I just said
Why are you like on the third or fourth page of this? Do I start from the other?
Not uncle. Make sure you bring that black thing in front with the microphone on there. Plus glass. Don't break the stand though, like you did last time.
Well, why doesn't the person just hold it? How does it react the next
Yeah, do we really need a stand?
Stand is helpful because you know
Yeah, you don't have to.
he's got his phone. He has to like move back and forth because you know he's got his whole style, right? So you know what I mean.
Stand is helpful.
That's too far. Why are you doing like that?
You can put it right up against it.
Up
bro.
against the thing, man. Whoa! Don't break it. And then this mic. Listen, this mic can go in there.
Like this is how you want.
I remember one time I was in a mosque
By the way, this thing is on.
I was
Alright,
5
what
years
do you
old.
think?
And
That
I
mic
saw
can go
a
in there.
man.
Oh no, actually.
Oh, no,
Somebody was looking.
stand up, step over.
There you go, Mariam.
Are you okay?
Mariam, can I have a hug? Just make sure it stays plugged in.
Oh, Mario, that's such a beautiful name.
Yay!
Oh, Mario, she's over the wire again.
She's okay.
That's a different wire. When I was 5 years old, I once came into the mosque and I went to the microphone and spoke into it while they were praying namaz. I just started doing like the raspberry.
Sound like, oh, that's good. So did people find that funny or what?
No, they got mad.
Oh, careful. Oh. Okay.
Well, are you okay? I always find everything offensive.
Gotcha. I'll give it.
Can you check the?
Wait.
Molly, make sure that's plugged in. Or just.
Girls can be in the
She's a little girl.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Little girl.
Sure. Why not?
We're talking about the
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
I mean, she'll probably forget it when she gets older.
Chill. Watch the wire.
Hey, wait. It's not started yet, right?
Are we projecting fire?
No, it hasn't.
Oh, why?
Okay.
Why not? Because it's in your Ramazaan program file.
R30 is not in the file. You want me to check?
The Quran.
There was Quran, but not for R30. It's
Are they
just
gonna have
those
the
certain
Nawaz bill or
surahs that
no?
we can use for Shabbat.
Are they gonna have
Oh,
the thing
so
that's
then why
in
didn't
this
you use
still?
it that
Or
night?
are they just doing it for fun?
I'm sorry, say again?
Are they gonna do this tonight or this is just
Yeah.
Don't do that. It's the camera on.
The Arabic wasn't coming through. it was just coming up as a jumble of like characters. For some reason, those slides there.
Wait.
Yeah, we're doing Iftitah and then we're doing Quran. Guys, everyone can see you on the YouTube camera.
No, he's frozen. Oh no. You're not frozen. Oh no, he unfrozen right now.
No, okay, that's why.
No, but that camera's on. It's projecting.
That means that camera.
Oh, right? That camera? That same camera?
There's already been 20 comments.
Oh, the projector. Yeah.
What did you say?
He was good at like this.
Yeah.
No, what
That's
did
nice.
you say?
Oh, that's cool.
No, what did he say? That's 20 comments.
No, he hasn't.
This guy, yeah, Wandale. I
There's
love
usually
his name.
comparison.
Wandale Robinson, 5'8", 178. He's a small dude.
I know. But there's usually comparison somewhere that shows like.
I think right now, like the picks are very hard to predict because now like people are all over the place with their
No, just
evaluations.
make that Jacoby D.
Oh yeah, I wanted that guy too. Who got him? Nakobe, right? Isn't it?
Jacoby, yeah. He was supposed to be 18 overall. He got.
Nakobe D.
No, Wandale.
Wandale Robinson.
Oh. I
David
think
Ojabo, I heard, was good. I don't think Nakobe Dean got picked. That's weird.
Really?
Yeah.
Look. Best available. Let's see. He's still there. He was in the top last time I checked.
That's still there.
Really?
There must be something happened with him. Even Malik is dropping like a rock too.
He's supposed to be 19 overall.
I don't get it. Somebody must have some health issue or something, right?
Grandpa,
This guy's only dropping.
my
some
idea
bad-
is
Can we get these guys after the
What's up?
maybe after the maybe after the thing is done. You'll
What do you
bench us from around.
What?
Are you staying for the final final?
I gotta pack the gifts.
Oh, you'll be downstairs. Well, we guys can set up and then you guys.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, good. Mama, be careful. That thing's gonna drop.
See, Jacoby Dean
No one wants to see the
Right,
guys
yeah.
that are
But then,
rejecting
I mean,
it.
like the Lions have picked him.
Yeah.
I expected like
My
idea
He was
is
supposed
to
to be this other, this Matt Corral. That was
That
the
idea.
Yeah, he was
You know what happened? He was supposed to be. He thought he was gonna go in the first round. He showed up to the draft.
Yeah,
Yeah, bring it up.
Nicola
Get
second.
contact.
They're not even going in the second round.
How to do it?
But like, here, scroll down, he's up. But like, I guess none of these teams need it. But like, teams like the Falcons took a chance on
Yeah,
him.
like none of these teams.
Yeah, like the Falcons and like Lions took a chance on
Maybe
him.
somebody will trade up for one of these picks.
Yeah, but like, but teams like the Falcons, I mean, teams who are bad. Oh yeah.
The Giants are up. So they have what total picks do they have?
And they have like this extra picks for Chicago. Bad deal.
But didn't they get an extra pick for going to back?
Oh yeah, it's true. But I don't know if it's this year or next year.
Oh, they have 2/3.
Oh,
That was by this
two
trade.
thirds, 2/5, 3/5.
2/4 and 3/5. That's a lot. Man. Thing is, like
If I
anybody.
were them, I would just trade like two fifths and 1/4 for like a third if that. Do that. Like a late third maybe.
I'm gonna have to throw in like a next year's.
You know what? I think this is very cool.
But
Hi, Mariam.
but next year there's gonna be a bunch of people fighting for the number one spot. That Alabama quarterback. He's also really good. But it's only his first year.
Ibrahim, where's your brother? Hey, look, it's John. Be careful with the wire. Oh, you need. Oh, okay, good. Be careful.
Guys, be careful. Don't jump on the wire.
Does it say anything on it? Does it say anything about it? Or we dinner?
Wire's dropping.
So now, you know how A.J. Brown got paid so much? All the 49ers fans are scared. Now, Deebo Samuel's probably gonna ask for like something. Yeah, they just can't do that.
Giants are their pick this receiver, but their next
Wandale
next round.
Robinson.
What? You picked both?
Here, Yusuf.
No, their next pick is in the third. So they got started, but no, they traded one of them. They kept this one, and now they have 2 picks in the third. Wandale.
Yeah, I still want to like, why not? You really need an inside linebacker as an MVP? I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Papa, is this on?
You just didn't think they're good.
Yeah, Fortnite.
Yeah,
She's the first one to last. Because they traded her away to get Trey Lance to get their pick to the Dolphins. They traded like
Alright, come on, sit down. Sit down. Sit on the ground. Sit. Solid one. How are you? Come on out. Yesterday, we were talking about Harun. Who's Harun again?
Sorry.
Oh, when again?
نعرة تكبير
الله أكبر.
نعرة رسالة نعرة حاضري در محمد أهل بيت محمد صلوات
اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد اللهم رب شهر رمضان الذي أنزلت فيه القرآن وافترضت على عبادك فيه الصيام صل على محمد وآل محمد وارزقني حج بيتك الحرام في يومي هذا وفي كل عام واغفر لي تلك الذنوب العظام فإنه لا يغفرها غيرك يا رحمن يا الله اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد اللهم إني أفتتح الثناء بحمدك وأنت مسدد للصواب بمنك وأيقنت أنك أرحم الراحمين في موضع العفو والرحمة وأشد المعاقبين في موضع النكال ونكما وأعظم المتجبرين في موضع الكبرياء والعظمة اللهم عزمت لي في دعائك ومسألتي فاسمع يا سميع مدحتي واجب يا رحيم دعوتي واقل يا غفور أسرتي فكم يا إلهي من كربة قد فرجتها وهموم قد كشفتها وأسرة قد أكلتها ورحمة قد نشرتها وهلكة بلاء قد فككتها الحمد لله الذي لم يتخذ صاحبة ولا ولدا ولم يكن له شريك في الملك ولم يكن له ولي من الذل وكبره تكبيرا اللهم صل على الله أكبر اللهم صل على الحمد لله لجميع محامده كلها على جميع نعمه كلها الحمد لله الذي لا مضاد له في ملكه ولا منازع له في أمره. الحمد لله الذي لا شريك له في خلقه ولا شبيه له في عظمته. الحمد لله الفاشي في الخلق أمره وحمده الظاهر بالكرم مجده الباسط بالجود يده الذي لا تنقض خزائنه ولا تزيده كثرة العطاء إلا جودا وكرما. إنه هو العزيز الوهاب. اللهم إني أسألك قليلا من كثير ما حاجة بي عليه عظيما وغناك عنه كثير وهو عندي كثير وهو عليك سهل يسير. اللهم إنا عفوك عن ذنبي وتجاوزك عن خطاءتي وصفحك عن ظلمي وسترك عن كبيه أملي وحلمك عن كثير جرمي عند مكانه من خطائي وأمدي. أتماني في أن أسألك ما لا أستوجبه من الذي رزقتني من رحمتك وأريتني من قدرتك وعرفتني من إجابتك فصرت أدعوك آمنا وأسألك مستأنسا لا خائفا ولا وجلا مدلا عليك فيما كسبت فيه عليك فإن أبتعني أتبت بجهلي عليك ولا الذي أبتعني هو خير لي لعلمك بعاقبة الأمور. فلم أرى مولى كريما أصبر على عبد لي منك علي يا رب. إنك تدعوني فوليا وتتحبب إلي فتبغض إليك وتوده علي فلا أقبل منك كأن لي أتولى عليك. فلم يملك ذلك من رحمة لي وإحساني إليك وتفضل علي بجودك وكرمك. فارحم عبدك جاهل وجد عليه بفضل إحسانك. إنك جواد كريم. الحمد لله مالك الملك مجري الفلك مسخر الرياح فالق الإصباح ديان الدين رب العالمين. الحمد لله على علمه بعد علمه والحمد لله على عفوه بعد قدرته والحمد لله على طول عناته في غضبه وهو قادر على ما يريد. الحمد لله خالق الخلق باسط الرزق فالق الإصباح ذي الجلال والإكرام والفضل والإنعام الذي بعد فلا يرى وقرب فشهد النجوى تبارك وتعالى. الحمد لله الذي ليس له منازعا يعادله ولا شبيها يشاكله ولا زهير يعازده. كهرى بعزته الأعزاء وتواضع لعظمه العظمى فبلغ بقدرته ما يشاء. الحمد لله الذي يجيبني حين أنادي ويستر علي كل عورة وأنا آسي ويعظم النعمة علي فلا أجازي فكم من موهبة هنيئة قد أتاني وعزيمة مخوفة قد كفاني وباجة مونكة قد أراني فأثني عليه حامدا واذكره مسبحا الحمد لله الذي لا يهتك حجابه ولا يغلق بابه ولا يرد سائل ولا يخيب عامل الحمد لله الذي يؤمن الخائفين وينجي الصالحين ويرفع المستهزئين ويزعو المستكبرين يهلك ملوكا ويستخلف آخرين والحمد لله القاسم الجبارين مبر الظالمين مدرك الهاربين نكال الظالمين صريخ المستصرخين مستصرخ موضع حاجات الطالبين متماد المؤمنين الحمد لله الذي خشيته ترد السماء سكانها وترجف الأرض وأمارها وتموج البحار ومن يسبح في غمراتها الحمد لله الذي هدانا لهذا وما كنا لنهتدي لولا أن هدانا الله الحمد لله الذي يخلق ولم يخلق ويرزق ولا يرزق ويتم ولا يتم ويميت الأحياء ويحيي الموتى وهو حي لا يموت بيده الخير وهو على كل شيء قدير اللهم صل على محمد عبدك ورسولك وأمينك وصفيك وحبيبك وخيرتك من خلقك وحافظ سرك ومبلغ رسالتك أفضل وأحسن وأجمل وأكمل وأزكى وأنمى وأطيب وأطهر وأسنى وأكثر مسلي وبركت وترحمت وتحننت وسلمت على أحد من عبادك وأنبيائك ورسولك وصفوتك وأهل كرامة عليك من خلقك اللهم وصل على علي أمير المؤمنين ووصي رسول رب العالمين عبدك ووليك وأخي رسولك وحجتك على خلقك وآيتك الكبرى ونبي الذي وصل على صديقته طاهرة فاطمة الزهراء سيدة نساء العالمين وصل على ستي الرحم وإمام الهدى الحسن والحسين سيدي شباب أهل الجنة وصل على أئمة المسلمين علي بن الحسين ومحمد بن علي وجعفر بن محمد وموسى بن جعفر وعلي بن موسى ومحمد بن علي وعلي بن محمد والحسن بن علي والخلف الحادي المهدي حججك على عبادك وأمنائك في بلادك صلاة كثيرة دائمة اللهم وصل على ولي أمرك القائم المؤمل والعدل المنتظر وهفه بملائكة المقربين وأيده بروح القدس يا رب العالمين. اللهم اجعل هداي إلى كتابك والقائم بدينك استخلفه في الأرض كما استخلفت الذين من قبله مكن له دينه الذي ارتزيت له لا أبدل من بعده خوفه أمنا يعبدك لا يشرك بك شيئا اللهم عززه وعزز با وانصره وانتصر با وانصره نصرا عزيزا وافتح له فتحا يسيرا واجعل له من لدنك سلطانا نصيرا اللهم زر به دينك وسنة نبيك حتى لا يستخفي بشيء من الحق مخافة أحد من الخلق اللهم إنا نرغب إليك في دولة كريمة تعز بها الإسلام وأهله وتذل بها النفاق وأهله وتجعلنا فيها من الدعاة إلى طاعتك والقادة إلى سبيلك وترزقنا بها كرامة الدنيا والآخرة اللهم ما رفتنا من الحق فعملنا وما كسرنا عنه فبلغنا اللهم المم به شاسنا وشب به صدأنا وارتك به فتكنا وكسر به قلتنا وعزز به ذلتنا وابن به عائلنا واكذب به مغرمنا واجبر به فقرنا وسد به حالتنا ويسر به يسرنا وبيد به وجوهنا وفك به أسرنا وأنجب به طالبتنا وأنجب به مواعيدنا واستجب به دعوتنا وآتنا به سؤلنا وبلغنا به من الدنيا والآخرة آمالنا وآتنا به فوق رغبتنا يا خير المسؤولين وأوسع المؤتين اشف به صدورنا واذهب به غيظ قلوبنا واهدنا به لما اختلف فيه من الحق بإذنك إنك تهدي من تشاء إلى صراط مستقيم وانصرنا به على عدوك وعدونا إله الحق آمين اللهم إنا نشكو إليك فقد نبينا صلواتك عليه وعلى وغيبة ولينا وكسرة عدونا وقلة عددنا وشدة الفتن بنا وتظاهر الزمان علينا فصل على محمد وآله وأعنا على ذلك بفتح منك توجل وبذر تكشف ونصر تعز وسلطان حق تظهر ورحمتك منك تجللناها وعافية منك تلبسناها برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين وصل اللهم على محمد وطاهرين Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. اللهم ادخل على أهل القبور السرور. اللهم أغني كل فقير. اللهم أشف كل جائع. اللهم اكسو كل عريان. اللهم اقض دين كل مدين. اللهم فارج عن كل مكروه. اللهم رد كل غريب. اللهم فك كل أسير. اللهم أصلح كل فاسد من أمور المسلمين. اللهم اشف كل مريض. اللهم سد فقر بغناك. اللهم غير سوء حالنا بحسن حالك. اللهم اقض عنا دينا وأغننا من الفقر. إنك على كل شيء قدير. اللهم صل على
We'll have the ziyarah and then we'll do the khatna. Assalamu alaikum ya Aba Abdullah. Assalamu alaikum ya Ibn Rasulullah. Assalamu alaikum ya Ibn Amir al-Mu'mineen wa Ibn Sayyid al-Wasiyin. Assalamu alaikum ya Ibn Astaana-e-Zehra ya Sayyidat Nisa'il Alameen. Assalamu ala al-Husayn wa ala Ali ibn al-Husayn wa ala awlad al-Husayn wa ala ashab al-Husayn. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Assalamu alaikum ya Abul Fazl al-Abbas ibn Amir al-Mu'mineen wa Qasim ibn al-Hasan wa Muslim ibn Aqil wa Hani ibn Urwa wa Habib ibn Mazahir wa al-Hurr al-Shaheed al-Yari. Assalamu alaikum jami'an shuhada'i Karbala wa asirane Karbala wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Assalamu alaikum ya Gharib al-Ghuraba. Assalamu alaikum ya Mu'in al-Zufa'i wal-Fuqara. Assalamu alaikum ya Mughis al-Shiyati wal-Zawwar fi yawm al-Jaza. As-Sultan ya Abul Hasan ya Ali ibn Musa al-Raza. Ruhi wa jismi lakal fida wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Assalamu alaikum ya Mawla ya Sahib al-Asr wal-Zaman. Al-Aman, Al-Aman, Al-Aman. Assalamu alaikum ya Khalifat al-Rahman. Assalamu alaikum ya Sharik al-Quran. Assalamu alaikum ya Mazhar al-Iman. Assalamu alaikum ya Imam al-Ins wal-Jan. Ajjalallahu ta'ala farajak wa sahlallahu ta'ala makhrajak wa zahurak. وجعلنا من أعوانك وأنصارك ورحمة الله وبركاته الصلوات.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم كل وليك جبريل الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آله في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرضك طوعا وتمتعه فيها قليلا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين.